Welcome to Leaf On Lessons. Education modernized, learning maximized. Today, we begin short story writing or narrative writing. Our objectives for this session are 1. To identify the parts of a short story. 2. Identify 2 types of short stories. And 3. Plan and organize a narrative. We all love good stories. We strain to hear the latest news among our friends about what happened over the weekend, and we rush to see the latest movies that promise good stories. We cluster around phones, tablets, and as Guyanese, we sometimes, against better judgment, run towards crowds and possible danger to witness a story. There are times too when we just have to relay an incident to a friend. We could never hear too many good stories. Let me help you satisfy this curiosity.
Okay, listen to this. There are 3 guys stranded on a deserted island. And one day, a magic lantern washes ashore, they rub it, and lo and behold, it contains a genie, who grants them 1 wish each. The first guy wishes that he was off the island and back home. Poof, he's gone. The second guy wishes for the same thing. Poof, he's gone too. The third guy looks around him, sees that he's all by himself, and says, "Gee, I'm lonely. I wish my friends were back here."
Interesting? There are many things we can learn from that narrator. You should aim towards building that kind of interest when you write. That story is a made-up story, so it is fiction. Short stories are fiction because we use our imagination to develop them. Even if it is developed from a true story, it is still fiction because we would have added elements to make it better. That story has 5 elements, all which you are expected to include in your stories. 1. There is setting. That's the island. 2. There are characters, the 3 boys. 3. There is a plot, the events and how they occur. 4. There is a point of view, whom we are hearing the story from. And 5. There is theme, the writer's purpose. Some of you might remember these. If you don't, then those are the parts or elements of a short story. Can you identify the type of story that is? Why? Because when you are asked to write your stories, you will be required to decide on a type. Here are some ideas. You can write a story about a personal experience, for example, a day you won a prize. You can write a story about someone's story, and you can write a story about an event that happened. Once you have decided what to write, you will need to organize your thoughts. Watch the upcoming clip on organizing narratives or short stories.
Okay, we're going to use the following steps today to plan our writing. Number 1, make a box for the beginning. Number 2, in the box, write what happens in the beginning. Number 3, below the box, put bullets telling how you show that event. So sensory details, dialogue, etc. And number 4, you're going to repeat for the middle and the end. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is I'm going to make my box for the beginning. Just like this. Step 2 is I need to think about the what. What is going to be going inside of this box? So I need to think about the events that happened in the beginning. So let's see. In the beginning, I walk into my apartment and I immediately notice a bad smell. I figure out that the smell is coming from the kitchen. Okay, so what I've just written is the what. Now I'm going to show the reader this event. I'll do that with bullets below my box. So in order to do that, I have some thinking that I need to do. I need to ask myself some questions, such as, what did I see during these events? What did I say? What did I smell and feel? So let's see. Step 3, I need to think about those questions. Let's see, I remember that, it smelled really bad. The smell hit me like a wall. I also remember just being really tired after working all day. I remember seeing the dishes stacked up in the sink. And let's see, I remember my face got really hot because I was mad. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat this process for the middle and the end of the story. So, okay, I'm going to make my box. Let's see. Okay, in the middle, I go into Carolyn's room, and I remember I yelled at her for leaving smelly dishes out. And then we argue, and I explained to her that I had just cleaned. Okay, so now I'm going to think about the sensory details to show my reader what's happening. Let's see, what did Carolyn do? I remember that she was really angry, and I knew that because her eyes got big and she stands up quickly, so I'm going to write that down. And I want to get some dialogue in here too. I remember Carolyn saying, "Don't come in my room and yell at me," so I'm going to write that down too. Alright, now I'm just going to do this same process for the end. So let's see, I'm going to make my box. Okay, in the end, we come to an agreement, and I realize that I shouldn't stay mad at her. So let me think of the details here. Let's see, I remember she says, "I'll do my dishes quickly if you'll tell me when you clean." So this dialogue will definitely show my reader what's happening. And I remember we also hug. Okay. Did you see here? I followed these 4 steps. Number 1, make a box for the beginning. Number 2, in the box, write what happens in the beginning. Number 3, below the box, put bullets telling how you show that event. Sensory details, dialogue, etc. Number 4, repeat for the middle and the end.
Remember, rewatch the video if you need to clarify anything. And always feel free to ask questions under the video. Now, it is your job to decide what your story is going to be about. We advise you to draw as much as you can from your personal experiences. Follow the guidelines received earlier and plan or organize your own story. For additional help, visit the library. Open the Welcome to Edmodo folder and watch the video on how to upload assignments.